I think we'll
Let
go
me,
live right now.
yeah, let me tweet it out here.
You throw on the overlay right here. Oh, you got this guy on.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're only allowed to have like 30 seconds on for each song though.
Oh, really?
Before they hit you. I think that's it. And we're almost at 30 seconds. Oh, okay. I guess we can just mix it up a little bit, and because I said 305. So the least we can do is give people
Give him a chance.
exactly. I've also trying to keep the lyrics, pretty PG. We
Mm-hmm.
might say some foul stuff, but the least we can do is have our music.
Yeah.
Because eventually, this is what the people are going to be listening to with their kids.
We'll get there.
It's like Barstool
We're
South.
early stages, yeah.
It's like if Barstool was here in Dallas.
Yeah, I really think it's got more like a Pat McAfee vibe to it.
Yeah, if one of those two guys ever comes at us and is like, "Hey, do you guys want to, become part of our network or whatever?" We'll give them. Yeah, I think that'd be cool. But we will ask for a very, very big number.
Yes. Cross that bridge when we get there.
Exactly. Well, I mean, it's nice to talk about though right now.
It
Why
is.
not talk about it?
Yeah. Nothing stops us.
All right, I guess it's 3. I guess we can. I guess we can start early. It's only my fault. I put it on the YouTube thing at 3:05, but we don't need to do that. We can go right into it because there's a lot to. There's not necessarily a whole lot to talk about, but there's a snow day. It's snowing outside.
Can't really tell. It's a little bright. There's some snow right there. This is Texas.
There are several inches. I cannot get into the details of just how many inches because I haven't gone out and checked myself, but there are several inches of snow on the ground today in Dallas.
A tall boy about this size out on yesterday about 3:00, and it is nearly covered.
So whatever a tall boy is, it is 3/4 to 4/5 of a tall boy worth of snow out there. And the Rockies, are they cold, Josh?
Oh, they're blue. They are blue.
The Rockies are blue indeed. Not a frozen beer though. Not like you get at a Twin Peaks or I don't know where else. That's usually where we go after softball.
Get
those ice cold beers with the.
I haven't taken it out of the snow yet, so it might be.
Oh, it's still out there
by now. Yeah, but I'm gonna wait till Wednesday. I'm gonna keep an updated log. Tomorrow, maybe something else, and Wednesday gets totally covered. I got a feeling this might be if I'm putting bets down.
So you want to put this. You want this thing to be completely covered in snow.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
That's how our ancestors wanted us to drink Coors Light. So
that's true. They wouldn't have made it in the way that they did. They wouldn't have put it in a can the entire way. If they wanted us to, only let 3/4 of the can get cold, they wouldn't have put a top on it.
Exactly.
No, it makes sense. No, it is Monday, February 15th, 3 p.m. Going a little early because again, snow day, staying inside. We really don't have a schedule yet. Eventually, we might want to get on that, but I don't. Necessarily care.
Yeah, this is more of an emergency show. I think usually like 6:00, 7 is fine, but emergency show. What else is everybody doing today? Staying inside, hopefully not losing power and able to watch this show.
Yeah, that's been a real thing. Did your family come over because of power issues? Did you have anything like that happen?
They went to the mother-in-law's, but the option was I gave the option out today. I basically was just bored. I wanted someone to have a snowball fight with, but.
You give them the option and then slam dunk that they don't take it.
Yeah, I was kind of big. They did, and I was pretty happy about it. So, just watching a lot of Yellowstone, binge watching. I feel like that's what you got to do when you're kind of caved in. You got to find a show and.
So that's your show, huh? What is that on Paramount?
Yeah, it's on Paramount. I actually got really lucky that I was planning on starting it this weekend, and you have to buy it from Amazon if you want to stream it. But AT&T Paramount was playing the entire 3 seasons over the next. Starting Saturday was first season. Yesterday was second season. Today's the third season. So I've got it all recorded. I can skip through the commercials. So it was just perfect timing. Perfect for this. As long as my power doesn't go out, I'll be in good shape.
No kidding. My dad loves Yellowstone, so I think I'm gonna actually I will check it out. I will watch it after
It's
this.
Sons of Anarchy in
Never
Montana.
really got into that, but
Well,
well, it'll just give. If anything, it just gives me and my dad something else to talk about.
yeah, I wouldn't put it up there with like the Breaking Bads of the world, or shows that are
Is that the
top
show with?
tier.
Is that the show with Kevin Costner in it?
Yep, yep,
Yes, I will totally watch it then. I love Kevin
yeah.
Costner.
Paramount is actually doing a Kevin Costner like weekend right now. Like they're showing, Draft Day and all those other movies. Just really hammering
Batman?
home.
Oh no, that's not Batman. I was thinking of Michael Keaton.
Yeah, it was Michael Keaton.
El Dorado. Have you ever seen that?
I have. Yep, it's been a
With
while.
a like a child Kevin Costner.
Mm-hmm.
That's another one of those films that my dad made me watch growing up.
But
Yeah. So okay. So we need to have Yellowstone talk. I guess I'm going to start that after this, and then every day we'll have. I'll give you an update on where I am.
Been
And
pounding through it. I'm on the second season.
oh, okay. Go. You're already on the.
So.
Okay, you're early. Okay, I can catch up probably in a couple of days, and
then
then we can start
Hopefully
having fun on basketball.
Binging it hard, but
oh, dang it. Okay. Well, I'll try to catch you, and then we can have my dad on, and he can just for Yellowstone talk because he will geek out about some,
Yellowstone, maybe Little Ned's baseball and
that, and yeah, because we got 2 months before baseball season starts back up. Actually, that is a great segue from talking Yellowstone to baseball. We can jump right into it because it is baseball season. Josh, we are officially in it. Pitchers and catchers report in 2 days, barring any kind of disaster.
Yep.
Or pandemic situation. I don't
think anything like that would happen. So
at this point, we need a nuclear bomb to be dropped in order for this baseball season to not be carried out as normal. Yeah, because
let's talk about it. Let's talk about the news of the weekend for Cubs fans.
Yes, the biggest news that matters to us, my jersey, my Jake Arrieta jersey is no longer worthless because, well, it wasn't worthless. When you win a World Series with a guy, the jersey becomes like irreplaceable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how you felt about Jake before he left to go to take a well-deserved contract.
Sabbatical.
Yeah, a sabbatical, some time away with
the Phillies.
Yeah, with the Phillies, making some money and then coming back on a 1-year deal, reportedly making $6 million. Again, I don't know how you felt about it. I was fine with it.
Yeah, no, I'm pumped about it. I don't think there's going to be a lot to cheer for this season, and that certainly is something worth cheering for. I think when he left, we all kind of figured he kind of didn't have that much left in the tank. Just the way he throws across his body, his mechanics, it's got to be. Yeah, he's throwing 100% every time, and so I think we need to temper expectations, but I think every 5 days running him out there, I think he's still got some special moments left in him. I think he could still go out there and pitch 7, 8, 1-hit, 2-hit ball and be nasty. I don't expect it every night like 2015, 2016, but
which
I think it'll be fun to watch. It'll give us something to root for. Him and Kyle Hendricks. I mean, Hendricks is still going to deal, so having those two at the top of your starting rotation and bringing in Braylon Marquez sometime, I think it's going to be fun at least.
No, I agree. I'm very excited, and it's nostalgic because he did pitch one of the, if not the greatest second half, almost a full calendar year if you start after that All-Star break and go up into the All-Star break of the next season. And I remember reading an article where Jake talked about just losing something in his slider, or just finger placement, or just, little things like that, where he was talking about like at one moment he knew exactly what to do and then somehow just like lost the feel for it or whatever. And, once that happens, you're just chasing it to get it back.
Amazing.
He had it for a whole, he had it for a whole year, dude. It was I got the stats pulled up here from his entire career, but if you we can look at I'm zooming in a little bit for you. You look at that 2015, he really got started. He was getting going in that 2014 year. He got traded in 2013.
The second half of that season, he was really, really good. And not a lot of people knew because we weren't very good yet. Well, we were kind of on the cusp.
Right. No, that 2014 team was bad. You know,
Yeah, but that was when we all kind of were like, okay, we're just waiting for Bryant to come up. Rizzo starting to show himself, waiting for Javi, waiting for Schwarber. Or I think we maybe drafted Schwarber after that season or that summer.
Yeah.
But yeah. I mean, it was. You could see it coming. I don't think anybody saw what the next 2 years were gonna hold for Jake Arrieta. I don't think anybody saw that happening. That he was going to be put together, possibly the greatest stretch of 30-plus starts that you're ever going to see. So,
well, it was. I mean, you start off in Baltimore. The guy, goes 20-25 with an ERA of, an exploding ERA of almost 5.5. Almost through 70 games there. Pitched 358 innings in Baltimore. Not very good. Not a whole lot of reason to think that Jake was going to do what he did at the time, but he did have, he was a pretty decent pitcher in college, and all that stuff. I want to see the transaction, what we got him for, because
it was peanuts. I think we got Carl Edwards Jr. No, he came from Texas. We got somebody else. I think it was maybe a Feldman deal. We didn't give him much.
Yeah, because that was Baltimore, so we didn't have to give up much for that. The Rangers deal was the real one.
Yeah,
that was
Hendricks and Carl Edwards Jr., who lost his stuff, but was pretty good in the leading up to the World Series. So
yeah,
and was out away from getting a save in the World Series.
Yeah, Jake was he was drafted 3 times. Last time he was drafted was the 5th round, so he was a pretty top 10 round pick kind of guy. Those guys end up giving themselves a good chance to make. They're pretty much expected to make the show at that point, and he did. And got dealt. Once he got dealt, though, he went from. You look at his walk rate. He went from the previous year 75 innings, 41 walks. The next year, literally doubled the amount of innings, same amount of walks. At some point, he found his control. He found his command when he was in Chicago. I don't know if it was the pitching coaches he was working with. I don't know what the Cubs were doing different.
I remember reading something where the Orioles, Baltimore, for longevity reasons, wouldn't let him pitch across his body, even though that's how he always pitched, in high school and college, across his body. But they didn't want to pitch across his body because they didn't want him, they didn't want to have to put him through Tommy John. So they were trying to save him. He comes over the Cubs, and Cubs are just like, "Is this what you're doing? Then do it." I mean, if it's going to be that much of a drastic change, just do it.
Because you suck right now, man.
Yeah, and and they weren't in for the long haul. I mean, they traded him. They traded Scott Feldman for Arrieta and Pedro Strop. So they're like, you know what? If you get hurt. We're not putting all our marbles in here, and it ended up being just fan-freaking-tastic. So
ended up working out. So yeah, he gets traded to the Cubs. Something clicks. How did he do that? I want to see what he did. So yeah, he starts off the year 1-2 for Baltimore in 2013, 7.2 ERA. Turns around, comes to Chicago, figures it out somehow, finishes the season with an ERA of 3.6 with the Cubs, goes 4-2 in the National League. Maybe it's just the National League's weaker. Maybe the AL. He was pitching in the AL East. He was having to pitch against the Yankees and the Red Sox at the time, who were
and the Rays were still pretty good,
and the Blue Jays. So there were a lot of teams. Yeah, he had to pitch against a lot of good hitters, but my God, that does not explain 6.2, 7.3 the next year. You know what I'm saying? Comes to Chicago, lowly NL Central. I get it. You know what I mean? He's pitching against, the Reds, and he's pitching against the Brewers, who didn't have Christian Yelich, and the Pirates. Good God, man. The Cardinals are the only team that are really in there every single year.
But then the Brewers started to come on, and the Pirates were feisty, in 14 and 15, and maybe even 16. They were pretty good.
Was that when they had Andrew McCutchen and Starlin Marte?
Yeah, and they had Garrett Cole.
Okay, yeah, they were young and up and coming.
Yeah,
but still, AL East is pretty deadly back then. But comes to Chicago, 2014, ERA of 2.5. Okay, 167 strikeouts to 156 innings pitched. The guy eclipsed strikeouts per innings pitched. It was the first time he had more strikeouts. Strikeouts per 9 exceeded 9. So that was the start of something like, okay, yeah, you're saying that it was because of probably letting him pitch across his body. I have no reason to doubt that at all. We can go back and look at the footage or of him pitching before, but something clicked for Jake when he came to and that's probably it for where he goes from 7.5 ERA in Baltimore to 2.5 the next year, to the next year when he has the most spectacular second half run, which I can't remember. Well, it's something of an ERA of like 0.77
Yeah,
or something like that
I
from
saw the
post
stat
All-Star.
line yesterday or the day before, and it was 21 starts. And his last 21 starts, he was 19-0, a 0.77 ERA, which is unreal. I mean, it was must-watch television every time he pitched, which you don't really see. I mean, people don't tune in for people tune in for Mike Trout to hit or Barry Bonds to hit, but you don't really go in to watch a pitcher dominate and maybe be a boring game because there's not a lot of runs scoring across. But the stuff he could do with a baseball, I mean, you had to watch it. You had to watch it because it was so mesmerizing. He was so good, and he was making grown men look foolish. And I mean, that no-hitter he had against the Dodgers, that was a good Dodgers team.
Yeah, that wasn't just some joke. Yeah, here it is. Check this out. This is Arrieta records best second half ERA in history. 7.75 ERA for the second half.
If I'm not mistaken, that Hendricks was really good that year as well, and so was John Lester for that matter. But I think all three of them got Cy Young votes. But Kyle Hendricks I think he had an ERA that's just like. The next year, Kyle Hendricks has an ERA of 2.13. I mean,
yeah, no, I mean,
talk about everything just coming together.
We can talk about Kyle Hendricks for days. That's my favorite pitcher. That's the Greg Maddux of today's time. But I mean, Jake had the most obviously the most spectacular second half of baseball for a pitcher in the history of the game. So that's just how good he was.
Yeah, it still is amazing what he was able to do that year, and then he pushed it over to the next year too.
Yeah, 4 complete games, 3 shutouts. I mean, he single-handedly, made that team competitive. They didn't make it to the world. They didn't go to the World Series. They lost in the NLCS or the NLDS. They lost to the Dodgers in the NLDS.
Was that 2015? Was that the Mets that?
With
Murphy hit so many bombs off of us, the Cubs killer.
Yeah.
And then he was a Cub and wasn't nearly as good.
Or he just couldn't stop it. Yeah, him and Jason Kipnis, man. Guys that absolutely love hitting at Wrigley and then come to play at Wrigley and just
Kipnis was a hometown boy. I mean, he should have.
Yeah.
But he's old later in his career. I mean, he came on as a minor league contract, so.
No, but then then the following year, Jake Arrieta, 18-8, ERA of 3.1. That second half of the season was a lot different than the first half that year. I remember he
kind of ran out of gas.
Yeah, but it was but
we won a World Series.
And then the next season, 14-10, ERA of 3.5. That's when he
still pretty good. I mean, it's not like he just fell off a cliff. But
that's what I'm saying. An ERA of 3.5. At age 30 or whatever he was, he was pretty solid still. So there was a lot there. There was no reason to think that there wasn't a lot left in the tank. However, he was wanting
$25 million a year.
Yeah, so he was wanting
Cubs
top pitcher in the league money.
17.4.
Apparently, they offered very similar to what they offered you. And you almost won a Cy Young last year.
Yeah, I mean, he was great last year. I think not having fans was pretty big for Yu Darvish. I can talk about Yu Darvish all day, good and the bad.
Yeah, but
we're talking
weak. We're talking Jake though.
This is
because we will talk about you. I will talk about you all day long. But Jake, the last 3 years really in Philly haven't been, great. 22 and 23. You can't really put wins and losses on a pitcher. So that's for sake of stating numbers. 22 and 23, ERA of 4.36. A lot different than his 5 years in Chicago of 2.73. It's a pretty good number. strikeouts per 9 way down.
Yeah.
Um,
Hopefully he gets to Chicago and they can mess with his mechanics again, and maybe he finds it, maybe he doesn't. But at least it's something worth rooting for this year. Which in Chicago, if you're not on the South Side, there's not a lot to root for. So
this team's going to be struggling this year.
And Justin Turner goes back to the Dodgers. That was the last big third baseman bat that was on the market. How long is Chris Bryant going to last in the Cubs uniform? So
I was going to say,
with all those swirling rumors, it's like, man, at least we have Jake Arrieta back. I may go buy his jersey just to have it. Just be like, okay, he's back. I'll wear it every 5 days. Good or bad.
I've got mine, and I feel like it's not a waste now. Well, it wasn't a waste. Won a World Series. It's one of those things that I no longer have to hang it up. I don't have to put it up in a glass case or anything like that. For now, I can still wear it because he does plan to pitch one every 5 days this year for as long as his body will hold up. I think he's got a lot left in the tank. He does that Pilates stuff.
Yeah.
He does yoga and
he does the fingertip push-ups.
Yeah, he's really into fitness. So I think that, there's no reason to think that he can't at least stay healthy.
Did he go to Plano Senior or Plano East?
I think he went to, dang it. I was going to say Plano Senior, but then you said East, and that makes me think he went to East. Yep, he went to Plano East.
And then with TCU?
Drafted by the Reds out of Plano East High School in the 31st round, then drafted by the Milwaukee Brewers in the 26th round out of Weatherford College, and then drafted out of TCU in the 5th round.
Not much going on in Weatherford. 2008 bronze medalist in Beijing Olympics. So he's got some credentials. Silver Slugger Award winner in 2016.
Dropped an absolute nuke. In his very first.
Against the Diamondbacks and against the Giants. I mean, he was.
Yeah,
the dude could hit. I always got nervous because he started out his career not using batting gloves. I was kind of. I get it, you're a tough guy, but you get a blister on your hand. Oh, yeah, it was so cool.
Oh, yeah, you're absolutely right.
Anybody that goes with no batting gloves.
And you go up there and you do batting practice and you get a little blister on the inside of your hand right there.
All of a sudden, that slider is not clicking.
And I'm pissed as a fan that you decided to go do that. Or, God, imagine being a Nationals fan. Imagine being a Nationals fan that one time Max Scherzer broke his nose doing bunt practice just by goobing around, just not paying attention.
Goobing around.
That's what happens. That's why you got to pay attention.
Yep, every day,
especially when you're a franchise cornerstone. I've got pitchers and catchers reporting at the bottom. So they're not going to have a fan experience this year at spring training. I don't know. Have you ever been to baseball spring training?
I'm headed to Scottsdale on Thursday, and I was kind of like, well, maybe I can run out there for a day, or maybe run into somebody just at a bar or something. Because they all go out and stuff. But
so, it's interesting you say that they all go out because they are Alex Cora, the manager for ye old Red Sox, was quoted as saying that it would be selfish of these guys if they were to do something like that. If they were to go out and be in public during COVID stuff.
Yeah, it probably would be, especially these first guys coming in. They need to kind of set the tone. But hey, I'm hoping for it. Maybe I'll run into Jake Arrieta at the bar, or I'm going to try to hit the golf course on Friday. Maybe I see somebody at the golf course.
See, that would be fun. No, I read an article today. We've got our website up, and I gave my take on spring training and the importance of having fans there. But ESPN published an article that made me it was exciting, but also just kind of pissed because it reminded me that if we're not going to be able to be at spring training, there's a very good chance that we're not going to be able to be at games.
Yeah, that gets me nervous. But also, these indoor stadiums, these basketball, NBA teams have started letting fans in, and it's indoor, so that gives me hope that they're at least from the start going to have a limited crowd outdoors and move into more capacity as the summer wears on. I think by this summer we could have 60% fans at the stadium, or 70%, whatever it is. I think we're still probably a year at the least going back to normal and having, sitting in the bleachers and chugging beers. But damn it, I'm looking forward to that.
That's where I am it just infuriates me, Josh, is that we do not get, as fans, I know the risks, okay? We've done the masks. We've done this isn't, I'm not trying to like take a side, or this isn't supposed to be like a controversial thing, all right? I want to go to baseball games. I want to sit with you and our other buddies, our teammates, all right? I want to sit with my buddies and I want to drink some beers and eat some hot dogs and eat a lemon chill. And I want to enjoy the game with all these people who all know the risks. We all know the stuff that's associated with it. At that point, we're all family. All right. I don't know about you, but I do know about you. Whenever we go to a game, Josh, those people in that crowd, suddenly they become our family members. Somehow, some way, we've all become one. I am okay with high-fiving this random stranger who I've never met before in my entire life. I almost enjoy having to get up for this fat guy who, purchased a seat in the middle of the section when he knew he was going to have to go to the bathroom quite a bit, or go up to the concourse and get himself some. Exactly. But at this point, I enjoy it. Okay. I was looking forward to that. Yes.
And if anything, I'm looking more forward to that. I'm looking forward to standing up and, sighing like, oh,
I will do the wave. I will do the wave.
Yeah. I'll participate in everything.
Screw it. All those guys, all those people who say, oh, here comes the wave again. It's so childish. I'm doing it this year. I'm doing it every time. I might be the wave starter now.
Someone's got to do it.
That's where I'm at as far as like wanting to be out there and knowing
live
everything.
Sports again.
Yes, and I don't understand now the reasoning if we've got the vaccine and we've got all these protocols and all this stuff, all of this and that. We have it all. So let us go to the games.
I mean, let's go to restaurants, and those are pretty much 100% capacity now. And you sit down, and you immediately take your mask off. So, like, what? It can't get you unless you're 6 feet tall. I don't understand, where the line is. It seems, and it's so blurry.
And I wouldn't be so pissed about it if, like, they wouldn't flaunt it in our face, and if they wouldn't tease us with it, and also just like. I know we're going to get halfway through the baseball season and they're saying, oh, baseball's a dying. They got to try some more stuff to get fans at what are they doing how is baseball not engaging fans? Why is baseball dying? Because Manfred isn't letting us go to spring training. Because Manfred isn't letting us go to games. How they make all of their money off advertising. At this point, this year, we should just have free games. If they want to save baseball, baseball's fine. But if they want to save baseball, they need to give just tickets away. Let everyone go that wants to go. You know what I mean?
Re-engage everybody.
It's so easy to fix. It's such an easy. We don't need to make pitch timers. We don't need clocks and stuff like that. We don't stupid overtime extra inning like this is recreational softball stuff with the guy starts at second base. Like we don't need any of that. Okay.
Well, I think they're really showing their hand here by giving these big contracts, lucrative contracts out still, even though fans aren't allowed to go to games. So it's like, okay. Why are you charging us an arm and a leg of the game if you're completely fine without fans at the game? I mean,
right?
It's only going to get better if you let fans in and lower the price the price for tickets and re-engage fans. And then now they're spending money on memorabilia, on jerseys. I'm with you. I think a lot of sports are showing their hands by. There's really not a lot of revenue talks. Like, oh, we're losing revenue by not. Doing this and that. They were like, hey, we're losing revenue because people are illegally streaming our games. We wouldn't have to do that if you just let us in. Let us watch the game. Let us go to the game. I'll pay.
No. Yeah. See, that's what we're trying to avoid paying for. We don't have to. We shouldn't have to pay for it anymore.
Right.
All right.
That's what I'm saying. If people are legally streaming it anyways, and that's your big problem, then you've shown us going to games is not your biggest problem because you don't have any fans there. So just let us all go to the game for free, or $5 tickets, or whatever, and that re-engages people to buy your stuff, buy your team store stuff, buy your concessions, buy your beer. Everything's so marked up, anyways. That's where they're getting their money. They're not getting their money from the money I spend on sitting in bleachers, the $45 I spend getting bleachers.
So this is the part of the article on ESPN that I took. See, I'll show you what I wrote, but I'll show you this right now. So, crowd size is down. Fans will be limited. Crowd size way down. Their freedom of okay. Oh.
Yeah, but in past years, you could get right up to a player in spring training. I think that's where they're losing their younger fans by,
Well, I was under
those interactions.
I was under the impression that we weren't going to be able to go at all. But no, I mean, this is a big part of the game that people are losing. Like, I remember me specifically, I was 13 years old. I was 13 years old when I was allowed to go. Not allowed. We went to the Cubs spring training. We were on a spring break trip and going out to California. And on the way, we stopped in Arizona and went to a Cubs spring training game. Saw Ronnie Woo Woo before he died. He was, Cubs super fan. But I remember it was crazy. We got to go right up to the dugout. I mean, and they basically play at glorified like high school ballparks as far as like the way the dugouts and stuff are set up. It's not like the majors where, you got this big old dugout that like sort of has all these railings and stuff that definitely keep you. So, I mean, it was, the players like you can almost crawl over the top and just, hey, how's it going? Like from your, so it was super close, super intimate. I remember specifically though, I was walking up to get an autograph and here is this young 23-year-old kid who previous season, didn't make the All-Star team, but went 14-8, I think. I mean, named Carlos Zambrano, and he was a pretty good pitcher for the Cubs at the time. And
pretty strong.
Yeah, and I played MVP baseball, so I knew he was going to end up being pretty good. So I, 13-year-old me, 12-year-old me, whatever. No, I was 12. Goes up to Mr. Zambrano, and he's pointing at all the kids in the crowd and stuff. Like, hey, you autograph, not in English. And I, being 12 and stupid, I toss Zambrano the ball thinking he pointed at me. One of the hundreds of kids there. I obviously thought it was me that he was pointing at. And I just, boom, square right in the head, man. Just boom. And he has to go down. He has to go like sit underneath in the dugout for a bit. Like, and they're just like, oh,
he'll be fine.
He'll be fine. And I'm just like, oh my God, what have I done?
You killed him.
Proceeds to make the All-Star team that year, has the best year of his career. So,
there's something to him.
But it's something that I'll always remember as a baseball fan. Okay. Not just like, as a Cubs fan, as a baseball fan. It was an experience that I was able to have because I was able to go to spring training. And now so many kids and so many dads aren't able to take their sons or daughters, but it's baseball, to the ballpark to enjoy this, at least for this year. But that's a whole group of kids that are missing out on it.
Yeah, I think the same dynamic is lost in just regular season baseball games. I can't tell you how many times we made the trip down to, Minute Maid Park to when Astros were in the Cubs division, and we'd go down there. We'd go early, right when the gates open. Try to get down as close.
4 hours early to go watch batting practice.
Yeah, as close to the dugout as possible, hoping that they would have batting practice because sometimes after a day-night game, they don't have it in the day. I'd get down there and I can't tell you how many times Derek Lee tossed me a ball. He's walking the dugout, he points at me, he tosses me a ball. I'm like, oh crap! Dusty Baker signs a baseball for me. Todd Wellmeyer. I'm not sure if you know that name or remember that name.
Wellenmeyer?
Wellmeyer, but it was like Wellemeyer. He had a pretty good season that year. I forgot if he was in the bullpen or as a starter. Real fringe player. He signs a baseball for me. Obviously, didn't really care that much about it because I don't have that baseball anymore. But that was the year he went. I think he started the season off well or something. Wasn't very good, but it's just a cool experience just to have a baseball player. It doesn't matter who it is. Obviously I'm looking for Aramis Ramirez to toss me a ball or Derek Lee or whatever. But it's a cool experience to be able to go down there and really get that close to baseball players. And I think it's something that you don't get in any other sport. NFL games, you can't get down to the that close to the field and be that close to a superstar. You can't do that in the NBA unless you're blessed with side seats like me in the second half of the Cavaliers game.
For the elites only, like you.
Right, but baseball's different. You don't have to be an elite. You can literally get down all the way to the field and interact with a baseball player, which is incredible, and an incredible marketing tool. And I think baseball is just totally missing the mark on it.
I want to read you it's a quick read. I want to read you my little article. Did you get to read it by chance?
I didn't. I saw it. I didn't.
Okay, good. I just wanted to
pretty
read
well
it
into
because I
Yellowstone.
mentioned you. Yeah, no. I mentioned you in it, and I just wanted to
I'll
read it.
contact my lawyers.
We'll
But
get. Yeah, well, I mean, folks, we did it. We made it another trip around the sun, and now find ourselves back to a time when things make sense. Spring training. Pitchers and catchers report this week, which is like saying the groundhog came out of his hole and decided to have a picnic. Winter is over. Ignore the snow on the ground. Baseball is back. Things can go back to making sense. Obviously, I'm excited. I know my co-host Josh is excited. We got the shaft last year. The NFL, NBA, and NHL got to play their seasons, but baseball fans were given a measly 60 games and told, this is fine. Josh, were you fine with 60 games?
No, I wasn't.
No, I was not either. No, it was not fine at all. It was hell. It was like really bad foreplay followed by really bad sex. You'll take it, but this doesn't feel all that good. Is that close?
That's pretty spot on.
Yeah. While we are excited to have baseball back, the reality is we will probably have a similar experience as last year, but longer. So, great. Major League Baseball is going above and beyond in their efforts to ruin the fan experience that they aren't even letting fans show up to spring training. Lord knows if we will get to go to a regular season game. Fans, players, and managers alike love spring training. There's a buzz in the air that's unlike any other time of the year. For a few weeks, thousands of fans flock to Florida and Arizona with the hopes of meeting their favorite players and managers. Fathers and sons line up early to get an autograph or nowadays a selfie. Sadly, nobody will get a chance to make these memories this year. Kids won't have a chance to hit their hero in the head with a ball due to the language barrier. It's a travesty to say the least. Needless to say, the situation surrounding spring training sucks. I want fans there. Players want fans there. For the life of me, I have no idea why Paul Manfred, right?
Yeah.
God, douchebag. Won't allow a normal experience for those willing to risk it. We have a vaccine, we have masks and sanitizers and people in bubble suits. Why the hell can we not have a baseball as usual?
Rob Manfred, by the way.
It's what?
Close. Rob.
Oh, Rob. Damn it. I got to change that. Why did I think Paul Manfred? Who's Paul Manfred? Paul Manafort. That was that Trump dude. God. See,
we're not in politics anymore.
Yep. No, thank God. That's why. Because of crap like this. So there's anyway. No professional ball player died of COVID-19 that I'm aware of. Sure, we lost Hank Aaron, but he hadn't played a game in over 40 years. So what's the big deal? I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah, he's very old. So
he was. This isn't political or an attempt to be controversial. I merely want a logical explanation as to why we can't have a normal baseball season. Is that fair?
Mm-hmm.
Why is it that players and managers and owners and Dr. Fauci can go to the ball game, but I can't? And I put the video of this just awful. It's the opening throw. Is it going to make us watch an ad? As long as oh, here we go. Yeah, we can go. Just Jesus Christ. Yeah. Jesus on ice skates.
Just terrible.
Yeah. Players, managers, owners, and fans all know the risk of going to the ballpark. Hell, leaving a White Sox game on the south side is probably the most dangerous thing one could do on a summer night. True?
True.
There is always going to be a reason to stay home, but as a fan, I don't want to. I want to watch baseball and yell at my guys and eat a lemon chill, all while being surrounded by thousands of fans who might as well be family during those 9 innings. Give us baseball and give us all of it. We don't want cardboard cutouts of ourselves. We don't want the ultimate virtual experience. I want to sit along the third base line with an ice-cold beer and a fresh hot dog. I want the thrill of wondering, is this lefty going to foul one off to me? I want to be asked to stand up numerous times because some idiot a couple seats over broke the seal too early. Aside from the beer, you don't get any of that at home watching the game from the couch. Chances are you get Jessica Rodriguez ruining what should have been a nice evening of baseball. We need baseball. I need baseball. I need the smells, the sounds, and the emotions you can only get from being there. Hopefully, we all get our fix this summer. The spring appears to be lost. That captures all of my emotion right now.
Yeah, I think it really puts the nail in the coffin there. I think having limited fans is a start. At least, I guess that's the only solace that we can take is that they're not starting off with no fans, which is a little help for
continuing so I stand corrected. So thank you for drawing my attention to that fact, because my God, that would be an absolute disaster if there was
travesty.
Yeah,
but still, I think it's still going to be a far cry from spring trainings of the past. I mean, how close can you really get to these guys anymore? You know, I think it's going to be tough. So,
man, it's hard to think. It's tough to think about how the experiences that you and I had. I mean, this is like pre 9/11 stuff. Like we,
mm-hmm.
you know, 6,
no one
7,
gave
8
a
years.
shit about anything. You get close to anybody you want to.
Hey, how's it going? I'll throw something on the field.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're gonna have to answer questions in 10, 15 years from now from kids who are asking like, how did streakers even get on the field? It's like, well, they used to let fans go to the games back. You know, when I was growing up, we didn't watch the games from our virtual little box. We went and saw players play, and when that happens, people sometimes would get drunk and take their clothes off and run across the field. That's not a reality. I don't want to live in that world where I have to explain that. I want my child to see the streakers run across the field.
Yeah, I would like that too. I mean, it's just, you're right. It's such a difference in a generation of what we were allowed to do and see. And now everything is so, yeah, exactly. Now everything's
kids don't want to go 4 hours early to watch batting practice.
No, they got to have their iPad, their phone. I mean, none of that. I just want to go watch these guys hit bombs and watch those, envy those players' kids that were on the field shagging baseballs. I would love to just go shag baseballs. Even as a grown adult, I'm 29 years old. I would love to be out there shagging baseballs.
How much judgment was there on your part when you would see these kids, like, you know, some big leaguer's kid or some manager's kid drop a pop fly? You're just like,
I had a slick glove
I need to be out there
back then, and yeah, I would be like, what a spare. He's supposed to be a Major League Baseball player's kid. Like,
it was probably some guy in like the ticket
I've got my glove. Let me in. Let me on the field. And
you always showed it. There's a lot. Like whenever I would go to games, like, you know, before last year, but whenever going to baseball games, I did notice the lack of kids bringing baseball gloves compared to when I would. I mean, I brought a glove. I still bring the glove to the game because, like, if I've got good seats, I might get a foul ball, and the last thing I want to do is bare hand. I want to be ready for that guy, you know. And it works as a koozie.
Small hands, so I don't want to have to just try to catch one.
Yeah, I felt pretty attacked during that Burger King Whopper commercial where it had the guy with the little hands. Like I was like, oh, how'd they find my hands?
Pretty offensive. Yeah, I agree, and I think even when they expanded the netting, you know, that kid got smoked by, I think it was an Albert Almora line drive.
And then he had to go up and keep hitting.
Yeah, and he wasn't paying attention. And it's like, God, when I was a kid and I was, you know, we had some pretty decent seats down the, you know, third baseline. We'd go to Cubs-Astros games.
It was locked in.
I was, locked in. You know, I mean, I might not have caught it, but I was getting the hell out of the way. I'll tell you that. I'm moving my head. It's not hitting me square in the head.
Or at least know what the hell's going on.
You go to games now, and people are looking at their phones the whole time, even grown adults, and it's just like
sad the whole time. Yeah, I don't even have I don't even know where my phone. Oh, here it is. Yeah, the whole time it's just like tap 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 tap.
Yep.
Boom.
Hit a home run already. Like, and then it gets hit, and you're like, oh, where's the ball at?
You know what they do? Like, you know what they do? They're like, oh, okay, something's about to. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna record myself. Okay, it's a strike. Okay, I'm gonna record myself. Oh, it's a strike. And it's a home run. Oh my God! Look, it's oh my God! Oh, look how it's like, what? Like, watch the damn game, dude. Like, it'll be on ESPN.
Yeah, it's sad. It's where the world is now. Let's. I'm getting distraught again about baseball. Let's move on to another topic. This topic I mentioned to you earlier that I wanted to talk about.
Yellowstone?
No, I do like Yellowstone, but Masai Ujiri.
Oh, that's okay. That's right. Yeah, the before we even started the show, we were talking about this. I even pulled it up on another little thing, another little tab.
Yeah, he released a statement today saying that the lawsuit against him was dropped. I don't know if you guys know about this lawsuit.
Yeah, so go back
2019.
Go back from the beginning here.
Yeah. So 2019. I don't know if you remember who won the NBA Finals, but it was the Kawhi Leonard Toronto Raptors, beating Golden State. So they went in Game 7 in Golden State, and Masai Ujiri, he's the president of the Raptors, says I want to go and celebrate with my team. He's a black president. I want to go celebrate with my team. So as he's going down there, he gets stopped. He's got credentials. He's being escorted down there. It's not like he's just some random fan.
He's wearing a suit. He looks like,
Yeah.
he's not a streaker.
Yeah. And he gets stopped by the sheriff saying, hey, you can't go on the court. And emotions are high, just won an NBA Finals championship, just won the Larry O'Brien trophy, a team that he assembled.
On the road, right? On the road.
Made a great rental trade for Kawhi Leonard, did everything right, and he's trying to get on the court to celebrate with his team. Kyle Lowry is waving him, come on, come on. And this sheriff says, no, sir, I need to see your credentials. He shows him credentials, still doesn't let him on. They start to get into an altercation. Some pushes are had, and finally, somebody else steps in and he gets on the court. Well, and then the sheriff decides he was going to. It's caught on video, so now the sheriff is like public enemy number one.
Do you want me to play the video real quick?
Yeah. I think people need to see the video to really get a feel for it. Maybe we can start talking to the actual footage. Nope. Yeah, I don't really need to hear it. I think it's just one of those you have to see. I don't think you can't really tell what they're saying.
You need to hear it?
No, I don't think you do.
Okay. Yeah, I was like,
I think you can just maybe fast forward maybe to.
Yeah, show us. Okay, here we go. All right, let's see Here we go. Okay,
so
that is the security guard. Got our social security. Okay, here's our boy.
Yeah, here's Ujiri, already down courtside. He's already that far.
And he's just shows him the credential. Just flashes it. Flashes the credential. Whoa! What the heck? I've got
people,
my credential.
People over there telling this sheriff, "Hey, this is Masai Ujiri. Like this is the president of the Raptors." And this sheriff does not want it. And now he's embarrassed.
But that's the sheriff, huh?
Yep. Look at this.
Are we sure that's the sheriff?
That's the sheriff.
Oh my god. Oh no, whoa. Okay, let me see this first one. Okay, he's looking at him.
Very calmly walking down. He's pulling out his credential. You can see he's pulling it out of the pocket there.
He's like, slow down.
Yep. And then that guy's like, hey, this is Ujiri. Leave him alone. Now Ujiri's pissed. Rightfully so.
Because he's been shoved twice by this guy.
Yeah. And now, it starts to get bad. And then that sheriff has.
Oh, and then Kyle Lowry. There's Kyle Lowry, like, hey, come on the court. Hey, come on the. Oh, and then gives him a big hug, and that's okay. We got some.
Here's the cop. His body cam. He's trying to show it.
What is he grabbing him for? He's pulling it out, and he shows it to him. Here you go.
Ujiri's, I'm the president. Oh, now he's pissed off. Okay, it's bad. I mean, and then that sheriff has the goal to say, hey, I'm suing Ujiri for physical injuries. I don't think I saw anything that would injure him. He was the aggressor. Physical injuries, mental injuries, and medical expenses. What medical expenses could he even possibly be suing for? Now he was only suing for $75,000.
Broke his vagina.
Yeah, he was only suing for $75,000. So obviously he knew this was not. He wouldn't get a lot of money out of this, but he was trying. God help him, he was trying. But he also did it at a time where police violence against Black people are front and center, and Ujiri is.
The thing is, this was what, 2 years ago?
This was in 2019. Yep, 2 years ago.
Yeah, the thing is, it wasn't like, I mean, I get, all the Black Lives Matter stuff's been, I just lose touching with all that. Like, I have no idea.
Yeah.
But you're right. I mean, there's today's media, at least, with this video coming out now and this court case, I guess, being decided now, or the charges being dropped or whatever. Something happened to where this is now being brought back up into the spotlight, and there's new body cam footage that also shows. I guess that's the other thing, the body cam footage from
I think the body cam footage has been out for a while now, at least a year. I
Okay.
remember seeing it before. So
this happened 2 summers ago, right? Summer of
Yeah.
2019. So like, yeah, there's time. I mean, yeah, this sucks, dude. Like, what the heck is going on with this sheriff? Like,
yeah,
you
it
watch
was.
it. There they are. There's the two of them. He clearly sees him coming. He sees him walking. And he's like, "Hey, let me see that." He pulls it out for him, and he's like, "Hold on, let me see." Oh, what the? Back up! Like,
Yeah.
what in the world? And then gives him another one. He shows it to him again. He's like, "I'm gonna whoa,"
Yeah, he's
and then gives
clearly
him
the
a
aggressor.
good
And
shove. And that's
yeah,
a
and then
big dude.
Ujri's like, yeah, I'm a big dude. You're not going to push me like that. But guy's clearly the aggressor. And on what stance he thought that he could go at Ujri, he's lucky that Ujri did go after that entire police department because I think he would have won. He's got the power and resources to.
I was gonna
go
say
and
he's
win
got the
that
lawyers.
thing.
He's got the attorneys for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then apparently the Almeida Police Department was backing this sheriff, which I was like, in what world?
Real quick, Josh, we've got a listener writing into us who wants a quick shout out. Hey man, a huge fan, longtime listener and watcher of y'all's show. Power's out over here, so thank God y'all are on. P.S. I have a crush on Josh. I would love a shout out. He could be my little Macaulay Culkin. That is from Chris McMurray. So Chris is watching the show right now.
Yeah, shout out to Chris.
And the power is out for him. So
you're home alone anytime.
He is home alone. But yeah, so Ujri is what? I guess Monday, Ujri released a statement saying that he is grateful for support. Here's his statement. I am so lucky to have my beautiful, loving, supportive family. I am grateful to the Raptors players, staff, and coaches for having my back, especially Kawhi Leonard, who carried this team to a title.
Yeah,
and thank you for Kevin Durant getting hurt.
Yeah.
Thank you for Kevin Durant going down. Like, we couldn't have done it without you. Thank you to the NBA, MLSE, and Larry Tannenbaum for your steadfast support, and I am humbled by the fans around the world. You all stood with me. I have decided my fight isn't a legal one. What?
I don't know if it was because it was more of a civil suit. I didn't really get that. I mean, unless he was also fighting back. I think maybe he was fighting back and saying, "Hey, I'm going to go after the Almeida Police Department," and then, they were just like, "Okay, let's just drop everything."
Man, you want to piss off a bunch of people? Go after a taxpayer-funded just organization. Golly, man, that's essentially he's essentially suing and getting our money.
Yeah, but he dropped it, so
thank God.
So the sheriff kind of dropped it. I think they maybe came to wits and they probably just sued the police department just to be like, "Hey, listen, if you're going to try to sue me for this, then you're in big trouble." And the sheriff's department was like, "Hey, dude, either you drop your lawsuit or you don't work for the sheriff's department anymore." So, but it is bad credibility for that police officer. I mean, I don't know if he's still got a job or not. But
he released a statement saying that we have to make it better. We have to fight, and we have to stand up, and we have to speak up. These gosh darn Canadians. I honestly, looking at this, I think it's I don't know if it's like a.
Yeah, I think we're so quick to go like bad apple type deal.
I don't think it's dude. It's not a race thing. It's like this dude who lives in San Francisco already, or that
a lot going on.
Bay Area.
A lot of people. He's on high alert for anybody trying to get on the court.
And here comes this guy by himself. Right? He's not with an entourage. I don't see him. Like, we can play the video again. I don't see him with an entourage. Do you?
No, I thought he was. I thought he was being escorted, and seeing the video again, he's definitely by himself.
And then someone just recognizes him. Like, he's literally just some guy. Look at it. Comes out of this crowd, right? He walks by this other usher. So he's over here like with these other ushers or whatever, or just people in suits. Walks by. Here's this the sheriff who's been told pretty much, do not let anyone on the court. Do not, he sort of walks by nonchalantly. He screwed up with the shove.
Yeah,
that's where he messed up. If he would have
so aggressive, but again, like I think you were kind of getting at is if the president of, I'm an Indiana Pacers fan. If the president of the Pacers walked up to me, I know his name, Kevin Pritchard, but I wouldn't know him. Like he could go sit next to me at the bar and I'd be like,
I know Mark
"Hey,
Cuban.
so what do you do for a living?" But he's the owner. Uzier's not the owner of the Raptors.
What is
he's just the president. So I mean, there's very
Just
few
the president,
franchise. Well, yeah, but there's very few franchises that I know who the president is and what they look like, and they all are teams that I root for. So
When you're at that
and
level,
if Kevin Pritchard walked up to me, I wouldn't know.
No, absolutely not.
So
it's probably for the It's probably for their best interest, because it.
yeah, I
saves
mean,
them
hell,
from
even
up all the
Theo
time.
Epstein used to go and sit in the bleachers and put on a fake mustache and wait to see how long it took for somebody to recognize him. And sometimes it'd go for a while. You know what I mean? So those are diehard fans that aren't recognizing.
We've got a special appearance. Val, do you read
frozen.
us?
I can't tell if he's frozen or it's just the cold that got to him.
Val, do you hear us? Oh, he's putting
Is he rolling a joint or getting his headphones?
I'm having technical difficulties.
Oh, because of the cold, for sure.
Yeah.
Val, we're talking about what's his first name?
Masai.
Yeah, we're talking about Masai Ujiri, the president of the Toronto Raptors. The video got released. Well, not released. I guess the case got dropped, or the charges were dropped, or something to the effect of his getting shoved after winning the NBA title against the Warriors is back in center stage or on center stage, and we won. We're just bringing you up to speed on it, but I don't think it's an issue of like, oh, this is Ujiri's making it what it seems to be into like some like, oh, this is a racism issue. He wouldn't have done that if I was a white guy. And it's like, I mean, he just saw some dude like trying to get on the court who doesn't have an entourage and like and also he sort of just walked by nonchalantly. Again, the issue is the shove.
Yeah, the aggressive shove in the beginning. I mean, it really puts the bow on it, especially in these times. I'm trying to get this sunlight to not be so prevalent. I think if he just said, hey, wait, let me see your credentials, or who are you, or whatever. But the immediate that was a big shove. I mean, he bounced back 5 feet. So
okay, in this
article, if someone shoves me like that, I'm falling to the ground. Probably busting my head open. I'm folding like a lawn chair.
Exactly. No, and obviously Masai Ujiri is a pretty big guy. If you see him standing next to that, security guard. But you look at it within the same article. This is all for the All Raptors fan nation, and then it's talking about how raising money for like all of these causes and stuff. I want to know what raising money would have done, and what kind of social awareness cause would have prevented this. Do we need a Masai Ujiri campaign where we learn who all of the managers, general managers, presidents, everyone on the administrative level of every sports franchise? Do we need to have an awareness session for that? Do I need to know what Donnie Nelson and I can't even think of all the presidents and GMs of the teams that I like, because I really don't, because it's all about the players, and the coaches. I don't want to know things, but do we have to? Is that something that we're going to have to start doing now, so that this doesn't? Because that is literally the only way that this doesn't happen in this particular case. This isn't like I got to stand for something. It's like, stand for having a posse. This is why rappers walk around with a posse.
Yeah. I mean, you definitely. If you're the president of a team and you're walking down on court, especially something, after winning the finals, you think he'd have somebody with them. I don't know. Does he have kids and a wife? I mean, where's his family at?
It's the equivalent of like the NFL teams, like president or GM or, something like going down the sideline or going down the stands and then jumping on over the side. And like, that's, you know what I mean? Like, or walking up to the usher and saying, okay, I got to go on the field. Like it's kind of weird. You know, the guy's gonna be
Yeah.
like, "Hey, I don't know.
Yeah.
I
You
know
say
all,
you're the president, but I don't know. Even if you told me your name, I still probably wouldn't know.
I know who all the coaches are. Know who
Yeah.
most of the assistants are. I have no idea who the president of basketball operations is, to be quite frank with you.
Yeah,
And
if
I'm
you're
sorry.
a random sheriff, hell, you probably don't even know the assistant coaches. I mean, you're probably
Dude
given
is
a list of people that could, possibly, come up to you, and they're all on the court.
they don't give the courtside job to the guy who is a fan of the game. They give it to the
Right.
guy who is there to do a job.
Yeah, for sure, and probably the guy that's been with the sheriff department the longest. And who's probably not really an NBA fan, but hey, this would be a cool experience, and I'm, got tenure. So,
Oh, Val said that he's trying to get his car started. That's a separate issue. Yeah, I mean, no, so I'm glad you and I have sort of pinpointed the problem. You and I have done a much better job figuring this out than any sort of journalist or sports writer has even tried to do. They pretty much I feel like the easy route now is to just say, oh, well, that white sheriff hated that guy because he's black, the end.
Yeah, that's an easy, kind of a lazy way to look at it, I think. Sometimes things just happen coincidentally.
Sometimes we don't know who the people that aren't on the court are, and we overreact and and then we shove. And then on
it's
the
such
flip
a split
side,
second. I mean,
there's no again, Ujiri didn't do anything wrong. This whole we need to get justice and that's like kind of what I'm like, what the heck? Like he effed up on so many levels. The sheriff screwed up big time. This isn't a societal problem.
Yeah, it didn't really bother me, that he pushed. I mean, it did bother me. It's stupid. He's definitely the aggressor. But I think what bothered me most was the sheriff in turn filing a lawsuit on Masai, which made no sense to me. I think that's why I was like, okay,
dude, that was
totally
game
separate
over.
issue.
That was game over. That's how you knew. That's how he knew. That's how the sheriff knew that he lost. There's no possible way of him winning this thing. He's not going to win in court of public opinion. He has to okay, well, he shoved the police officer, so clearly there's some repercussion for me. And then it's like, oh, dude, no, not at all.
Yeah,
you really screwed up.
We've all seen the video. There's cameras everywhere there, and you have a body cam that has to be released. So, yeah, and the fact that it took this long to, be dropped. I'm just like, what were you fighting for? That's what just the logic of that law, the whole lawsuit was just so,
dude. Imagine releasing it. Imagine releasing it during all the riots and stuff last year.
Yeah. I mean, crazy. It's crazy stuff.
My buddy Adam wanted to see what he was like. Hey, can I check out the podcast? I was like, always.
Yeah. Here's some breaking news. Vincent Jackson. Do you remember that name?
I do. I was randomly looking up his numbers the other day. His stats for some reason.
He was found dead today. So, 38 years old, found dead in a hotel room.
Okay.
So, a little somber news to bring in here, but very breaking. Just got the alert. It looks like it was in Tampa Bay. He was a Tampa resident.
He did play for the Buccaneers.
Yep, he did. Former Buccaneer and Charger. He checked into Homewood Suites. This is very honorable. And had been staying there since January 11th. His family reported him missing on February 10th. 2 days later, deputies found him at the hotel and spoke with him. They assessed his well-being. The missing person's case was canceled. Then Jackson was located deceased around 11:30 a.m. today. found by a housekeeper. There were no signs of trauma, and cause of death is yet to be determined. But sounds like he was probably not in a good place. I don't want to make any assumptions. Former second-round pick by the Chargers, three-time Pro Bowler, twice with the Chargers, once with the Bucks. Found dead today. So there's your little bit of somber news for your Monday to really kick off your week.
Well, Josh, thank you for that.
Yeah, as always, just trying to
R.I.P.
really bring down the vibe.
R.I.P. Vincent Jackson. Man,
Yeah.
he was good too. I remember
He was good.
with the Chargers.
He was a kind of a big body. I don't know how tall was he? 6'3", maybe.
6'5",
6'5",
around 4'4".
yeah. Big dude.
3-time Pro Bowler. Had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 seasons over 1,000 yards receiving. 3 with Tampa Bay, 3 with San Diego, or excuse me, 4 with San Diego. No, I had it right. 3 with Tampa Bay, 3 with San Diego. Had not played a down in 4 years. Last with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in 2016. Career 57 touchdown catches. Former second-round pick out of Northern Colorado. Vincent Jackson gone on this day at 38 years old.
Doesn't
Rest in
seem
peace.
like he has any kids. Probably good. I'm finding little silver linings, but yeah, he was good. He was good. I always liked him as a receiver. I think I had him on a couple fantasy teams. Just you can't teach size. 6'5", runs a 4.4, like you said. I mean, can't teach that. So, and he was part of some good Philip Rivers teams. I think Drew Brees probably threw it in for a little bit. Had some good quarterbacks.
I
I
think
don't know,
it was
when did he come in the league?
2005. So was that Drew Brees still at San Diego?
I don't know.
I know LT was still there. LT was that was Drew Brees. That was Drew Brees' last year there, I think.
Vincent Jackson was hurt most of that year, but the next year he kind of turned it on with Philip Rivers. Actually, was Rivers' first year, was Vincent Jackson's
that was a fun
first
team.
real year. Yeah, they had Antonio Gates. Sean Merriman was playing linebacker for him.
Keenan McCardle, that's a name.
Yeah, wow.
LT, a young LT, 26-year-old LT. That guy carried that franchise, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. That team could have been good if they hadn't lost hope of Drew Brees and his shoulder. But snooze you lose, I guess.
Sean Payton, I guess, figured out a way to make it work.
Yeah.
Man, what a sad...
amazing weapons.
Yeah, I don't really have any pick'ems or anything today. Val's usually my go-to, and with the snow day and everything. Dang. Oh, I had pitchers and catchers up during the bottom of that RIP.
Yeah, and poor taste, but it's okay. We forgive you.
Yeah.
I don't think there's many big games. Not a lot of storylines coming off of the weekend. It's been kind of just a weird weekend. Dame Lillard, Dame time last night.
Yeah, we can talk about the Mavs game for a little bit because God, dude.
Luka's great. Dame is a certified killer, and when he hit that step back three, first of all, I have no idea. I forgot who was trying to guard him, but where that guy was going, I had no idea. But Dame just walks off like he does it every night, which he sort of does, I guess. He's a stone cold killer. I mean, he'll hit that in your face and walk away like nothing. Like it was a practice three. So very impressive. He's obviously very good basketball player. Utah Jazz have won 17 out of 18 now. Looking pretty unstoppable. Just dominating some of the best teams in the league.
What are they like? How? I mean, I honestly haven't been watching any Utah Jazz basketball. Is Donovan Mitchell just that dynamic?
Donovan Mitchell is putting up 28 a game since Mike Conley, who's been fantastic, has been out the last 4 games. He's picked up the slack, so they went on to
Conley's a
yeah,
gamer.
He's been really good. Gobert has been dominant on the defensive side and serviceable offensively, which is all you kind of need. You got shooters and Ingles and Bogdanovich, and Bogdanovich brings a little bit more than just shooting. He kind of lulls you to sleep with his unathletic build, but he can do a lot. So is Joe Ingles. They beat the brakes off the Celtics, beat the brakes off the Bucks, and then beat the brakes off the Heat, who were just starting to play better basketball with Jimmy Butler back. So we got the Sixers tonight. Clippers on Wednesday and Clippers again on Friday. So, I can't imagine they're going to win 3 out of 3, but if they can pull 2 out of 3 out of that, I mean, they're the real deal. So,
are you a fan of these? Just real quick, are you a fan of these playing back to back against teams, or just like playing?
I'm not. It's tough to beat a team back to back. I mean, I did see a stat that there's been more sweeps in the back to backs than there have been splits, which is kind of alarming to me. I would assume the opposite. I think it's tough to beat a team, 2 nights in a row or 2 out of 3 nights. But
between that though, and also I like seeing teams get better. I like seeing teams. Okay, yeah, we lost by 6 last time. Let's see what happens in 2 months when we play. We played 3 times this year. Let's see what happens, in a couple weeks when we come back.
You're absolutely right. Yeah, I think you're right on that, and I think it further plays into the this is not real vibe. This is kind of a practice season or whatever. There's no fans in the stands. You play the same team twice in a row. Like, are we at an AU tournament? I don't know what's going on. So
yeah, this whole thing it's felt like fake from the beginning. I mean, I was thinking earlier today, I was like, how can they prove that they aren't pre-recording all of this and just that they haven't pre-recorded this years ago? And we're not just, I mean, I know that's oh, whoa, crazy conspiracy. I want to go to a game.
Yep.
This does not feel real until I can go to a game.
Yep. I agree.
Show me all the videos of Steph Curry sitting in the little box behind, the crowd, of him laughing, having a good time. And, Steph's watching this game, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. I want to be at the game.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. I think it just definitely plays into the weirdness. It's uncharted territory. So, I mean, I don't really know.
And the Jazz are a weird team.
Jazz are a weird team that are going to totally, I mean, I don't think playing in Utah, I don't think that those fans are really wild and reckless that you get a bunch of uptick by playing at home. So I think they're just great. We're used to, nobody really watching us. So.
God.
You are frozen, my friend. I couldn't tell if you're frozen or very intently looking at me, but it looks like you're frozen. So for all the fans out there, he's not peering into my eyes. All right, I guess it's just me. Welcome to J Radio. The G has left the building.
What?
Oh, he's back. Okay. I thought I was taking the radio over, so. No, he's frozen again. All right, back to J Radio. Nope, I guess he's still frozen. Yeah, so anyways, go Cubs, go Colts, go Pacers. Garrett is calling in right now. Let's see if we can hear him.
Oh, God.
Hey, we are live here on J Radio. We've got a caller. What can I do for you, friend?
Can you hear me now?
Yep, we can hear you. Yep.
Dude, I don't know what was up with my internet.
It's weird. It's a weird year. Jazz are a weird team. Your internet's weird. There's snow on the ground in Texas, so.
I did get an email saying that the internet was going to be cut in and out with my Spectrum service. Spectrum is going to cut internet in and out, so I might not have internet thanks to Spectrum.
Spectrum
service.
Spectrum. Don't use them, although I can't really. I have AT&T. My internet's great. However, I have no cellular service because the towers are down. So
yes.
I'll have to speak to Mr. John Vassell about that one.
Yes, I will have to speak to whoever I know that installs or is capable of installing low voltage cabling and wires, because this internet situation needs to never happen again. And the only way to do that is to make sure that I have a secure infrastructure and network that works. And the
Yep.
best way to do that I'm aware of is with the boys over at WD Communications. WDcommunications.org is the place that I would go if I were having internet issues and I knew that it was because of connection and not because of the company itself. So
Yep. They are the best in the biz at what they do. So if anybody has any low voltage questions that need to be answered or services need to be installed, that's WD Communications at WDcommunications.org. And that's our ad read for the day.
wow,
Way to sneak that in there. Great.
Thank you.
You're
Thank
a
you.
pro.
Before we go, yeah, that was what I had to do before we go because my internet's going to shut off at any time.
Yep.
And I can't have that. So thank you all for tuning in today. Chris, especially, thank you for tuning in and flirting with Josh during the show. Val, thank you for calling in and trying to get it work. We hope that you are safe out there on the road and able to get that car started. Probably shouldn't be watching the show or be watching the show. Either way, you're going to have to kill time anyway until that thing gets going. Josh, any final thoughts?
Yeah, stay safe, stay warm out there. Thanks for tuning in.
And tomorrow we will get a beer update on the tall boy out in the snow.
Yep. Be on the lookout for that.
Okay. Well, this is Garrett, the G from GJ Radio, and Josh saying, stay safe out there, folks.